Ladies and gentlemen, Affordable Dentures proudly presents the Star of David, Dimitri Salida. Thank you guys, and happy Wednesday evening to all of you. And guys, we're on borrowed time right now with this special gentleman who was just named at the IBF convention in San Juan, Puerto Rico. He was just named the USBA Promoter of the Year, the incomparable Dimitri Salida. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Thank you so much for having me on. That intro and your introduction makes me want to shadowboxing into the ring.
Well, I tell you what, you were an excellent fighter, exceptional. And I tell you what, you're an exceptional promoter. And congratulations on this very, very rare distinction. I mean, this is great, Dimitri. I mean, did you ever imagine? And we've only just begun, in the immortal words of Karen Carpenter. And do you feel like you've accomplished, and that's the way it looks, you've accomplished so much in such a short amount of time as a promoter?
I'm grateful for the progress that we have made, and because I grew up in boxing since I'm a little kid, and really, bled and sweat for the sport of boxing, I feel that I owe to it, and I feel that I have a part of it because of all the years spent in the gym and spent around great fighters and great trainers and all the sacrifices that were made. That I really feel that first of all, I love the sport of boxing, and it's ingrained in me from all those years of, training and fighting. And I really feel that I have a lot to contribute to the sport from my experiences as a fighter and from being signed to some of the best promoters in the world of boxing. And I feel that I, internally own a piece of boxing, and I feel that it is kind of my duty to contribute to it, and I love it, most importantly. So I'm very grateful for the progress that I made, and look forward to much more.
Oh, and absolutely, and we can't wait, and we're looking forward to your big event on May 23rd. You're back on DAZN already, and can you tell us who's going to be on that card and in the main event? They're heavyweights, correct?
Yes, May 23rd is going to be another Big Time Boxing USA. We plan for this to be the premier talent development platform for boxers in the United States. In the main event, we're going to have Jermaine Franklin, who is a world-rated heavyweight from Saginaw, Michigan. He gave Dillian White all he can handle, lost a majority decision in the UK, where most, including myself, thought that he won. Then he fought Anthony Joshua and gave him a very good run for his money. Learned a lot in that fight. Then he came back with a win against a 17-0 fighter, and now he's back in the ring again against Devin Vargas on May 23rd in the main event. And we believe that staying active and with a victory, he's going to put himself in position for a significant fight as we see them happening in the division. So I believe that Jermaine and Jared Anderson are probably two of the best American heavyweight prospects, contenders, and maybe they'll fight each other one day. But it's an exciting time in the division, and it's going to be a great event on May 23rd.
Absolutely. And go ahead, sir. My apologies. Go ahead.
And some of the other young fighters on the show are Joshua Pagan, U.S. national champion, now a undefeated lightweight / junior welterweight. He's going to be fighting in a co-main event for a junior NABF title. Then we have DeVal Smith from the Kronk Boxing Gym.
Oh, he's excellent.
Yes, heralded as the next Tommy Hearns. And we have Hussein El Mashadi, also from the Kronk Boxing Gym, exceptional amateur. And we're going to be announcing some other additions to the card in the coming days. It's really exciting. We have Al Bernstein, Raul Marquez, and Corey Erdman as the commentators to tell the story of boxing, to tell the story of boxers that are in the ring, and to give the fans the premium experience.
Excellent, excellent. That is an all-star lineup. And the last time we were here, I remember you wanted to be the next Showbox, but I said I likened it more to Tuesday Night Fights USA Network because now obviously it's not a weekly thing yet, but I likened it more to USA Network because the talent pool is much greater than Showbox. You have guys who are championship contenders already.
Yes, that is true. I'm kind of drawing the paradox to Showbox because that's what the new generation of fans know. The older
Oh,
folks know about Tuesday Night Fights. But yes, Tuesday Night Fights, you saw guys like uh, uh, Bernard Hopkins and Ivan Robinson,
yes. Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
and then you saw young guys coming up that were coming off from the Olympic Games, and so it was this mix of talent. So yes, this is more like Tuesday Night Fights, and we promoted many of the Showbox events in the last couple of years. Somebody's had to go. We had a lot of guys in competitive fights, lose their undefeated record and get tested, and so on this platform, we want this to be a combination of fighters like Jermaine Franklin. The previous show, we had Vladimir Shishkin, who's the official IBF #2 contender, Georgia
Mm-hmm.
Nagash, Carrillo, mixed in with young guys. So that's what we want us to be. We want us to be top contenders and with a mix of young guys and different fighters fighting different level of competition based on their progression and based on where they are in their career.
Yes, it's going to be a fantastic event, guys, and it's going to be once again May 23rd. Salida Promotions doing an excellent job staking their claim in the future of boxing. Now that's not the only distinction Promoter of the Year that you just received. Would you like to tell us about your other very important distinction and that you were just awarded by the USBA?
Yes, so uh, one of our fighters that actually fought on our first Big Time Boxing USA show is Ali Ismailov, who is a blue chip light heavyweight contender. He was briefly in line to step in for Beterbiev to fight Bivol. He got the USBA Fight of the Year award. He's a very talented fighter. He beat Charles Foster in the main event of the Hall of Fame Showtime televised event last year, and great honor for him, and hopefully gives boxing fans his name recognition just a bit more, and he's on road to fight the big fights later this year.
Very good. And now we know you have to be going because there's the IBF, and I know you want to sit down and have a chat with guys like Ivan Calderon and Felix Trinidad. And what else is going on there at the IBF convention that you'd like to leave us with, sir?
Give you guys a little bit of a look. Yeah, so these IBF conventions are really incredible. The conventions of all these different organizations, because you get a chance to see boxing promoters, boxers, officials from all over the world, and just a chance to catch up and talk boxing and connect and kind of talk about your vision and vision of some people from around the world for the sport of boxing. So I came for a day and a half. I came in yesterday and I'm leaving tomorrow. So just to show the IBF our gratitude and to participate in the ratings committee event which happened today, and to see some of the people that you only see at the conventions or the big fights. So so far it's been tremendous, and one of the things, and I'll talk about my boxing career. I started boxing as an amateur in New York City in 1995, and my first boxing tournament was the Junior Metros. So some of the referees that are here today, that I see at the IBF convention, refereed my amateur Junior Olympic and those Junior Metro fights, and now they're refereeing some of these World Championship fights. So it's kind of full circle to go from amateur to pro, and now to being a promoter and seeing some of these people that you grew up with, also kind of on different level. So it's a beautiful thing, and I'm very grateful
Yes,
for
sir.
the experiences, and I'm very happy that you and I connected, Joseph. And
Absolutely,
I'm
sir.
happy to be on your
Absolutely.
show because you're one of the guys that loves the sport of boxing, that knows the sport of boxing, and that tells the story of the sport of boxing, how it should be told, so to engage the fans in a truthful, real way, and that's what we need. And I'm very grateful to be a part of this program.
Your kind words, they truly humbled me, sir. Last question, really quick. Is
Yes.
Vladimir Shishkin, is he ready for Canelo Alvarez at 68, sir?
Yes, I believe that he is. I believe that he's ready. He certainly, has not reached his peak yet, and I believe that Canelo, obviously an excellent fighter, is slipping just a little bit, and may not be, as hungry, and it's just getting older. I mean, he's fought just an incredible resume of fighters, some of the best in the world, consistently for a long time. And as always is in boxing, someone new has to come and kind of take that crown. So I do not think that Canelo is going to be next for Vladimir, but we do hope that a world title fight is next, and hopefully within a 12 to 18 month period, that fight can happen.
Indeed, indeed. Well, we'll look forward to everything on the horizon for the remainder of 2024. And first stop, May 23rd, on DAZN, the return of Big Time Boxing USA. Oh, no, let me say this correctly. The return of Big Time Boxing USA, Dimitri Salita Promotions.
Was that in my good voice?
My imitation of it anyway.
Very good. Oh, I'm glad I recognize. So if I recognize, that means you did a good job.
Woo, fingers crossed. Now you're just being nice. Well, thank you, Dimitri, for this impromptu visit, and we look forward to more of the same before your big event on May 23rd. God bless you, sir, and get back home safely.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.
You too.
You too, sir. God bless you. Tell you what, guys, that was the incomparable Dimitri Salita. But, guys, we have a lot more show. The main event of the evening is going to be, and once again, it's titled, Is Ryan Garcia a Victim of Supplement Contamination? So there it is. Let me unmute here. We have a very special guest as well. Please unmute your mic, sir. And it's the incomparable Montequilla, Adam Lopez. Welcome to the show for the first time, sir.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Been a long time fan of the show since it first started.
Oh, you were part of the old show, which was Fight Saga Radio, as well as oh my gosh, the Pugilist Quarter way back in the day.
Yeah,
tell you what, man. Yeah, you were on that show many times. Can you hear us, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, very good, very good. And guys, gonna help me, Mr. Colombo, Mr. Kojak, Mr. PI, Mr. Investigative Journalist, the incomparable G Funky Boxing, G Funky.
Wow, Joe, you said that there was 3 shooters at the stadium, but there was really 2 shooters. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Well, in this case, you're supposed to be saying, well, wait a minute. The positive test, isn't it, couldn't it be a product of supplement contamination? Is that not in the realm of possibility?
Right there, right. And yeah, that's something that we're definitely going to get into here very shortly.
Well, I tell you what, guys, and once again, everyone knows that 2 weeks after the event, after Ryan Garcia beat that behind of Devin Haney. Now, once again, guys, don't feel bad for him. Well, he walked out with probably between $10 and $15 million. But he is singing the blues right now, telling Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn just spilled the beans in his interview with Fight Hub TV, that he wants to do something more to him than just meet him back in the ring with the gloves on. He's considering pressing charges, right? And taking him to court. Go ahead, sir.
I thought it was going to be worse. And he said do something more to him. I was like, he's going to invite him to like a P. Diddy party or what? Like, what does this dude
do? You know what? I think that's the worst thing that he could have ever done. Pose for a photo with P. Diddy. Not looking good. He gets his ass whipped from Ryan Garcia, and then he gets busted posing with P. Diddy after midnight, nonetheless. No, I don't know that, but look, guys, you sign on that dotted line, Adam. When you sign on that dotted line, agreeing to terms of a 143-pound catch weight, when you agree to terms and you agree to accept the supplemental money in addition to your already generous purse that you're receiving, do you have the right to complain? Because right now, we don't know yet. I mean, all we know, and they're going to do another test, and it's supposed to come out May 22nd, right? The results of the B sample. But as of right now, he seems to be vindicated. because it looks like it's going to be a product. It's going to be inconclusive, a product of supplement contamination, guys. And so, Adam, you're a prize fighter. When you sign on that dotted line, is it a good look for you to have any excuse at all, or is it merited in this case?
In what regards to the weight, the weight agreed on for Ryan
Yeah.
and Devin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a choice between losing the 3 pounds or getting paid 500,000 for the weight loss or for the pounds given, I'm killing the guy. I want to kill the guy. So drain the 3 pounds. I don't care. Like that money's going to get taken out for taxes, dude. I'd rather have the guy. It's going to go to the Uncle Sam. I'd rather have him lose the 3 pounds, drain himself, and then have the fight go on. Like, for him to say, well, he cheated because he didn't make the weight. He's the dummy who agreed to it. Don't agree
That's
to it.
it. That's it. So you're a prize fighter. You understand perfectly that no one since the passing of the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act legislation, no one can point a gun to a fighter's head and force him to fight. That's your decision. You agreed to those terms. You could have walked away from the fight, but you chose to sign that contract, that appended agreement. And now you want to complain. And now you want to talk about doing something outside of the ring to give the quote unquote villain his comeuppance. Yeah, that's a bad look. That's not. Now, once again, Adam, you never made any excuses. And it's kind of a. Do you find that surprising that more fighters today, they have an excuse for everything when it's an L on the resume?
Yeah, it's so bad because I mean, like, you guys discussed in the past show, like this dude had so many chances to either make Ryan kill himself to make the weight. He could have just said like, "Yo, forget this. I'm not gonna fight. If he doesn't make the weight, this show's not happening." If you look at Diego Corrales didn't do the third fight with Castillo because the guy was trying to do the same thing to him again. And guess what?
Right.
We still call him a warrior. He's one of the greatest warriors of all time in boxing. So your image isn't going to get frowned upon.
Yep. And that's it.
That's so stupid to look at like, oh, well, yeah, he didn't want to fight because he was 3 pounds over. Dude, I'm the one getting in the ring. It's so dumb. And one of the other things, too, is like the whole zero thing. He got, like, we all watched him get ruined. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I've seen it before where fighters get ruined in one fight. We watched Devin Haney get ruined. It doesn't matter if he has a 0 on his record. He'll never be the same. He's not going to be the same. And for him to be like, well, I don't care if he's innocent or guilty. I want my 0 back. It's like, dude, if he's innocent, you lost straight up. If he's guilty, the damage is already done.
Boy, I tell you what, decisions. And well, I tell you what, Bill Haney, instead of running his mouth on Instagram, picking fights with everybody, trying to actually steal the spotlight from his son, should have been thinking about the consequence of your actions a little more closely. You should examine this a little more closely, Haney. I'm talking to Bill. Now, guys, G Funky, Colombo.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, I'm going to pull this up, and we're going to read about this. Hold on, share screen. Let me see if I can do this now. Here we go.
You got it, Joe. You got it.
Can you? Oh, I tell you what, this stuff, technology and we do not mix. I'm an old codger. Can you guys see that right now?
Yes, sir. I can see it.
Okay, very good. Hopefully my connection doesn't start to break up. Am I breaking up, guys? Am I okay?
Little tiny bit here and there, but it's okay for right now.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to read this, guys. It says this is on the USADA.org, and our resident investigative journalist, MJ Mendoza, well, he found this today before Big Fat Dan Raphael. And it says, supplement warning, athletes risk from Osterine in supplements. Osterine is the trademark name for a selective androgen receptor modulator that is not approved for human use or consumption in the US or in any other country. Osterine is also prohibited at all times under the S1 anabolic agent category of the World Anti-Doping Agency prohibited list. In recent years, W.A.W has reported an increasing number of positive tests involving SARMs, even though only illegal products contain Osterine, and it's not currently available as a prescription medication in any country. For athletes, it's especially important to be aware of the recent increase in supplement contamination and supplement-related incidents involving Osterine. The unfortunate reality is that some dietary supplement manufacturers illegally put Osterine and other SARMs in their products, and some omit Osterine from the label entirely, just so it can get FDA approved. And it's using misleading names to confuse consumers. Okay? So that is reported by USADA. Now, G Funky, how did you actually find this info, sir?
I just, did a little research on the drug. And then, I just said, hey, well, let's see, since I've been hearing a lot about possible contamination with some of these dietary supplements that we know a lot of these guys take to help make weight, we just know that. I just kind of, connecting the dots, and, you look this up. Plus, I seen a video also that's been circulating the internet of a representative who was warning athletes of the same exact thing with this specific drug, Osterine, whatever you want to call it. This is a possibility. Now, guys, we're not saying that this is what's going to come out, but this is something that definitely has to be considered in this case. And unfortunately, guys that wanted to be first instead of being right on this case left stuff out like this, man. And they're doing their best Michael Jackson impression. They're dancing around stuff like this being a possibility. And it really is sad. Boxing media is in the fucking toilet, man. It's terrible.
Indeed. I think my connection, the good old San Antonio internet, Google Fiber, but there it goes. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. It was reported yesterday. Dan Raphael said, breaking, urine sample from Ryan Garcia provided on April 19th. That was positive for Osterine, but also showed banned PED-19, norindosterone. Indeed, needed more testing to confirm. That's done. Per lab report sent to Veda, which I've obtained while I was at the line in the buffet, it did not confirm. There is no third test failure. Ryan Garcia has been vindicated, seemingly. Now, that was per Dan Raphael. And he was at the line at the Golden Corral when he actually got that report. So I hope the Yankee pot roast was good that day. But Adam, this seems like he's going to be vindicated. It's going to be ruled inconclusive. And we told you guys that this was a possibility to judge slowly and allow due process to play itself out. Adam, this looks positive for Ryan Garcia, not in terms of positive tests, but positive in terms of his future with Golden Boy Promotions as, well, possibly the biggest new star in boxing.
He's definitely, I mean, before Ryan did all this, like, dude, I was hating the dude. I was like, I watched him on the PBD podcast. He did such a good acting job. He came in and looked like he was coked out of his mind. He was slurring, and I listened to the entire 2.5 hours, and I'm like, dude, this guy is such a piece of garbage. And then he gets into more just starts saying all the right stuff, and I'm like, dude, this guy's the man. But I mean, as far as what you just said, what G Funky just did with the USADA research, that's kind of open and shut if you really look at it. USADA, basically the second Tabata, the United States what the Olympians use. You saw it. I've done that when they come over to your house at like 7 a.m. before you go to school, and they make you pee, and then they leave. Like they've had second in charge, and they tell you with the research he just did. Austrian, it's in the supplements. It's just they don't tell you. It's like, so he could have been taking a laundry list of supplements and anything, and it could have been in there. They'll probably never find it. What he was actually taking, what was actually contaminated.
Yep.
I mean, if anything, it's open and shut, dude. He's gonna beat the case.
Yeah, I can't see any other conclusion to this investigation. And this raises another question, G Funky. Now, Golden Boy just forked over a ton of cash for these tests. And what did it do? Just raise controversy, somewhat tainted their otherwise spectacular event for their man, Ryan Garcia. And what has all of that money done here?
Done nothing, at least nothing positive for the sport. And, I really question, what is the point of even doing all this if we can't get these results prior to the fight and then stopping these fights from happening? Because the narrative amongst a lot of fans, and who I like to say, the PED police in the boxing community, right? The narrative is, well, if you take these things, you're going to kill somebody. Well, why can't we get these results sooner then, man? From what I was told, it's because they, all these testing agents, they all use the same labs, the same W.A.W labs. I think there's one in Salt Lake City, and then there's one somewhere else. So
that's right.
They cannot get these results back any quicker. So, I mean, honestly, it defeats the purpose. The fight still happened. And yeah, it didn't. If he did take these things intentionally, yeah, he got away with it still, was able to fight and win the fight. Possibly, quote unquote, kill Devin Haney, right? Yeah, I question whether VADA, like, if the current system actually works. I got to be honest with you. Too many times we've seen stuff like this happen where we get results weeks after the fight has taken place. And it's incredible to me, man. I think in recent times, the only one that we've seen where someone tested for something was prior to the fight was Oscar Valdez versus Robson Conceição. And that fight was allowed to go on due to WADA's rules that you can take that supplement outside of competition. So yeah, we have to really question the timing of all this stuff with WADA. It's just not working, man. If you're going to stop these guys from competing while taking performance enhancing drugs, the money that these guys are spending for it's not working, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when the court of public opinion is virtually a kangaroo court. It's worthless. On social media, you're guilty until proven innocent, it would seem. And it's not good for the health of the sport. Boxing already has, well, let's just face it, a very soiled reputation among the sports community. And guys who don't know any better are just going to roll with this narrative. Man, see, I told you, man, boxing is just crap. It's just a terrible, shady sport. Guys, this is doing more harm than it is good, because let's just face it, Adam, you know this, not accusing you of doing anything, but you know this. It's one of the worst kept secrets in boxing. Everyone at the elite level is doing it. If it means the difference of making marginal income and life-changing money, you guys are already taking punches to the head. You mean to tell me you're not going to risk taking this stuff? I already know this to be true. That's why I stopped covering this story 15, 20 years ago. Your thoughts, sir?
Dude, like, this is like exactly what you're saying. Like, he's saying, well, he could have, like, you guys are saying, oh yeah, he could have killed the guy. It's like, dude, I'm already trying to kill that guy.
Right.
You're like, hey, well, steroids are just gonna make you kill him worse. It's like, dude, I'm already trying to kill this guy. You know what the best time of baseball was when they were taking steroids. Giants. Was when the
Ooh, yes.
Mark McGuire. That was the best time in baseball. It kind of should be like you should be able to do it in a certain degree, like. But I mean, that's just me looking at an entertainment standpoint. I mean, if I'm actually boxing, I'll be like, dude, I'd probably want some regulations on it. But I mean, like, what can you really do? Like, what can you really do about it? Everybody's doing it. So you might as well, you can't beat them, join them.
I agree. I think it should be regulated, man. Yeah, there might be some guys that have a lot more money than other fighters to get better shit, quote unquote, Um
Yeah.
so I mean, could they go outside and still try to get better drugs than the person that can't afford it? Of course. I mean, like, unfortunately, man, I have to quote my buddy Dave Duenas from Leave It in the Ring, man. PEDs are here to stay, man. They're here to
Exactly.
stay, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, I mean, there's nothing and you could make a strong case for PEDs actually tempering the product in the ring. Now, guys, let's just face it. What causes the most head trauma and what causes the most serious accidents in our beloved boxing? It's the consistent and repetitive bludgeoning, the firefights in the pocket.
Yeah.
And let's just be honest, guys. PEDs, because they respect each other's power and they understand what's happening. Yeah, we see guys, well, they're not willing to let their hands go with regularity like they used to when the sport was much healthier. Let's just be honest. Adam, have you noticed that as well?
Repeat the question again.
I'm sorry. Was I breaking up, brother? My apologies.
A little bit.
I'm saying, yeah, my apologies, guys. This damn San Antonio internet from me. But you're in San Antonio. Anyway. So look, it's tempered the product overall. Yeah. And you could argue that it's actually much safer as a result of fighters respecting each other's power a little bit more because they know that everyone's doing this. Mm-hmm. You never see firefights above the weight division of 122.
Yes.
You never see it. So you could argue that this has become a safer product. And I'm going to pose this question to you guys. Adam, if the fighters don't seem to mind and they're the ones who are taking the punishment in the ring, why should anyone else?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, and the majority of all the head traumas, they're happening in the gym, dude. To be honest, they're happening in the heart. I mean, this is a prolonged thing. I mean, I've seen guys get knocked out cold. They get knocked down one time, they come back up, they win the next few fights and they look good and they win a world championship. I mean, we've seen that. But I mean, if you're consistently in the gym and taking up a beating, that's what wears you down, not really the fight. So I mean, if you're juiced up and he's juiced up, it's just my juiced up guy beat your juiced up guy. So my guy is essentially just
yeah, and you hit it on the head, Adam, and you're a former fighter, you know this. Joseph and I, we've been in and out of gyms for many, many years in our respective hometowns, and dude, it's brutal what you guys put your bodies through in a real training camp for a fight.
The wear and tear.
Yes, it's brutal, man. And yeah, if you ask any of these athletes why they use this stuff, right? It's because they want to recover. That's really what it's all about. Bodybuilders, that's something a little different. They take it for obvious reasons. They're not really punishing themselves as far as like taking hits, but lifting heavy weights and things like that can take a toll on your body as well. Go ahead.
It's essentially the same thing. Basically, you rep and then you're sore. You can't rep anymore. And then you take a shot of Deca, you take some Nandrolone, take whatever you can get. And then guess what? You can lift the next day. You're not sore anymore. So that's how you get bigger.
Yeah.
That's it, guys.
It's all about recovery,
keep in mind, guys. Yep. And keep in mind, now this should be a lesson to all of you fans who don't know the difference between steroids, anabolic steroids, and PEDs. Guys, not every PED is an anabolic steroid. Far from it. Okay? And look, this is, in my opinion, I think Golden Boy should use that money. And Adam and I were talking about this earlier. They should use that money that they designate for testing, because it's really expensive. You're talking about tens of thousands of dollars for each fighter to participate in this kind of testing. And unless you're going to force these guys 24/7, 365, then it really doesn't do any good.
It's no point.
Set aside that money to create a pension for retired and injured fighters. That's going to help out a lot more, guys. Instead of lining the pockets of Dr. Margaret Goodman. Okay?
Yeah, we almost had her on the show last year. That was unfortunate, man. I was really looking forward to asking her some questions.
Jeez, I wonder why she declined. She's become a very rich woman because of this.
Yeah, I wanted to ask her a lot of things about certain I shouldn't say supplements, but substances that are on the banned list, and why. Unfortunately, she canceled with us just about a week before we had it scheduled. But yeah, man, unless you're going to test these guys 24/7, 365, there's really no point, man. There is no point at all. And not a lot of them do that. There's some that do that. We know guys like Nonito Donaire has been doing that for years. Like that's one I could just think of at the top of my head. See, that's bad because this is my favorite sport. I watch it all the time. I can only name one guy off the top of my head that actually does it year round. I know that there's more, but
well, Adam Lopez is his former stablemate when he was training with Coach Ronnie Shields. Edwin Lobomba Rodriguez was a 24/7, 365. And there was a lot of controversy going into that Andre Ward fight because he wouldn't agree to do that.
Yeah.
When Edwin was getting ready to fight him, he would not agree to the 24/7 testing.
Wow.
And he was a snack athlete.
Yep.
He was a snack athlete too. He wasn't going to agree to it. I mean, I lived with him and we lived in an apartment, a shitty apartment. We lived in an apartment. Fight. And dude, like he did everything to win the fight. I remember, like, okay, he was overweight by a lot, and everybody was saying like, I can't believe he's fucking overweight, blah 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 blah. And it's just like, dude, he's going against Andre Ward, probably one of the greatest like light heavyweights of all time, and the guy just Super 6. They're like, dude, he's trying to do everything in his power to win the fight. He had just won the Monte Carlo tournament. He got what, 600K for that tournament, and then he gets shot at Andre Ward. And dude, he did everything he could to make the weight, or he did everything he could to put himself in advantage to beat Andre Ward. It's like in the situation where like your whole life is on the line and your career is on the line, it would make you or break you if you beat this one guy. He's going to do everything possible to win the fight, dude. I would. And but he did too. And I remember a lot of people were knocking him for that. And I'm like, dude, are you guys like retarded? Like, he's trying to win a fight.
Indeed. And, you know, I just thought it was fascinating. I couldn't understand why Andre Ward wouldn't agree to lead the charge for a clean boxing community. You're one of the biggest stars of the sport, at least in the U.S., and you don't want to participate in 24/7, 365 testing?
I mean, how do you think he recovered from that shoulder surgery? He needed that. He needed some shit. He was probably, dude.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's it, guys. They don't know enough about these drugs, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm an expert about them, but yeah, they don't know the difference between a banned substance and a performance enhancing drug, which are two separate lists on these testing agencies' websites and things like that. But you know, they're the first ones to bitch and moan and scream and virtue signal all day long on social media. Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, and Danny Drew, welcome to the show, sir. He says, hey, there's a great main event on ProBox TV. Guys, we love ProBox, and I want to congratulate my brother, Ramon Cardenas, for once again coming up big a couple weeks ago on ProBox. Adam, why aren't more fans? We're going to shift gears a little bit, guys, start talking about what's happening inside the ring now. Adam, why do you think more fans aren't gravitating towards Pro Box? Do you think it has everything to do with TV dates?
Probably. I mean, Wednesday. I personally love it. Wednesday night fights, dude. Especially out of football season. That's awesome. Wednesday night fights, and they're really good matchups too. It's like
Hmm.
almost like a show box every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. I like them, but I mean, TV dates plus it's on an app that is kind of hard to find if you're not particularly good at looking for stuff.
Yeah.
YouTube, I mean, there's a lot of way to access it. YouTube, the ProBox app. I have the ProBox app on my TV, but I mean,
Yep.
it's not conventional. I turn on channel 24 ESPN, it's there. It's not I put it on HBO, it's there. Showtime, it's there. It's like it's like a niche like a channel. It's a niche for
Yeah.
it's not mainstream, it's not well known, it's not like publicized.
Yeah. So rather than purchasing boxing scene, which they're doing a great job driving into the ground. Thank you very much, Tris. Um, they should have used this to advertise that app. They should have used that money to because they're great matchups and it's free on YouTube. Yet you look at the size of the audience, guys, their peak numbers are only like maybe at the most 7,000 watching it at one
Mhm.
time live. That's
Live, yeah.
terrible, guys. That's terrible. So that's a live number, but how many people overall, how many boxing fans tune into it every single week? 35,000 maybe?
Yeah, just the hardcores.
That's not good, guys. So once again, please tell your casual and mainstream friends, sports fans, to tune into Pro Box. This is where you guys come in. You guys, if you love your boxing in the U.S. market, please tell your friends about it to tune in and watch some great fights for free. World-class boxing entertainment for free on YouTube. This is where you guys get to help out. And it doesn't cost you anything to do it. Tell your friends. Pro Box. Chingao, man. But hey, tell us and once again, Adam, you were a special fighter. We always loved. How many times were you on Showbox? 5?
8.
8? Oh my
Mm.
gosh.
Yeah.
Chingao.
I'm an answer to your question.
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
I'm an answer to a trivia question. So if anybody ever asks who's I mean, I before Showtime got stopped boxing, I'm like, dude, that's kind of like it's not great moniker to have. But then now it's over. It's all done. Showtime's done, and it's like, okay, well, looking on the bright side, I'm a part of history. Like Showbox is a great show. It boosted a lot of the careers of a lot of great fighters, and I was on there the most. So I mean, it's a good way to look at it, and I'm just happy to be a part of history.
Yeah, well, look, this is a real game changer coming up, and I know you guys don't want to, because let's just face it, you guys are intelligent boxing fans, um, and I know you guys aren't thrilled of this being a humongous event, July 20th, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, but this is a potential game changer. If this fight sizzles, not only commercially, that's a guarantee it's going to do huge numbers worldwide. They've got over 260 million subscribers worldwide, Netflix. They're not charging you any kind of additional price tag like the Zone is right now, okay, for this major event. So if this sizzles, and if this is a critical hit as well, in which everyone's talking about it the following week, the subsequent weeks, this could be a game changer. Adam, could you possibly see, or either way, I'm going to pose this question to both of you guys. Could you see actually Netflix becoming a big major player in the sport of boxing, the major events from this point forward?
G Funky, you want to go first?
Sure, sure. Hey, that would be fantastic for the sport. just about everybody I know, and probably everyone listening here, just about everyone you know has a subscription to Netflix. So yeah, if this thing, and I think it is going to do crazy numbers, man. We're talking a guy in Jake Paul right now who's got a lot of fans. We know that they show up when especially when he's on pay-per-view, he's done good numbers. This time, yeah, you don't have to pay that kind of price to see it, especially if you already have the subscription. And Mike Tyson is still probably one of the most famous boxers of all time. We're not just talking in his era. The guy is still popular to this day, almost 20 something years since he won his last fight. So I think it's going to do great numbers, and let's hope that Netflix is happy with what it does, and they continue to invest more money in our sport. Because yeah, we desperately need this sport to go back mainstream, and this could be a way to do it.
Indeed, indeed. Adam, are you surprised that your brother Floyd Schofield Jr. is going to be added to the undercard, taking on gosh, what is his name? Sylvie, right? Ashton Sylvie, Jake Paul's understudy, so to speak.
Oh wow, they made with the water. That's what Ashton Sylvie. That's a really good fight. I mean, I don't know if Ashton has the power like that though. That's the thing. He's very fluid. I mean, his moniker is Water, and he fights like it. Dude is smooth, and that's a
Formless. Yep.
he has power like that though. Floyd, very athletic, very muscular, muscle bound. That's a really good matchup. I really like that fight. Now that I think about it, I didn't even know about it. I was listening to Boxing Voice earlier, and he was on the show, but I didn't listen to his segment. I just saw that he was on. I guess that's
Well, apparently it's not finalized yet because apparently Ashton Sylvie wants to weigh in at something like 138 a catch weight, 140, something like that, and they're currently squabbling on that. That's why it hasn't been announced. But my guess is they're going to take care of it because Floyd would have to be a damn fool to turn down a career high payday, making, from what I've heard, being offered almost $200,000 and fighting in front of a huge global audience.
Yeah, dude.
Like, in your mind, Adam, why would you turn that assignment down just for 3 pounds?
Yeah, you can't turn that assignment down for just 3 pounds. I mean, the crazy thing about it is the Jake Paul brings so many eyes to boxing. I don't like him. I don't think he's good. I mean, he's good at boxing, but I don't like him. Like, he's a better promoter than he is fighter, and I'll give him that. He undercard very, very well. Like Journeyman were getting like $15,000. The undercard, Montana Love was getting career high paydays. Serrano was getting. That's great for boxing. I love that part aspect about that is he's taking care of the guys under his stable. That's good. I mean, with Netflix getting involved in boxing, it kind of makes me just want to be like, dude, Amazon Prime is. If I was Turkey Al Sheik, I'd talk to Netflix. I'd get that card on Netflix. That card is spectacular. Like the Don King card, and it's gonna happen in our lifetime. Like, we're actually gonna see it in my lifetime. I was too young to see the Don King cards, but I can see the His Excellency's card. I can watch that. Thanks to Allah.
And it's gonna be behind a DAZN paywall, though. Have you guys caught wind of the pay-per-view cost yet?
How much do you think?
No, I'm sorry. The Terrence Crawford is going to be offered for free on regular subscribers' DAZN. So that's a great thing. But Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk coming up on May 18th. I think the pay-per-view price tag was just announced. Did I read that correctly? First of all, G-Funky. Tyson Fury looks to be in great shape, and Javen was telling me this a month ago. Javen Sugarhill Stewart, his head trainer. Apparently, he and John Fury have mended the fence, according to him. And he said Tyson is in the best shape he's ever been in. But is it going to be enough to defeat Alexander Usyk, the Machine? Chief Funky, your thoughts on this brilliant main event coming up on both DAZN and ESPN pay-per-view?
Yeah, look, I expect Fury to be in tremendous shape. This is the biggest fight of his career, as far as like, you know, securing his legacy. You know, there's a lot of fans here on YouTube that love to talk about legacy this, legacy that. This win right here, he'll be the first 4-belt undisputed heavyweight champion in boxing. And he'll be the first one in 20-something years since Lennox Lewis did it. Yeah, so it's a big fight. And Usyk, again, for his legacy, this will be huge. He's a unified champion already at heavyweight when he moved up from cruiserweight. Has a chance at undisputed here. So I expect both guys to be physically ready to go. I just think Fury he's just too big for this guy. The reach, he knows how to utilize his reach. He's got a really good jab. He can maul this guy on the inside. I think Usyk's going to have a very difficult time, trying to cut angles on Fury, because Fury can move as well. And if he's in great shape, yeah, he's going to be moving right in there with him. So I think it's going to be a pretty good fight, though. But I think Fury, with the size, once he gets on the inside with him, he's going to use that size to wear the smaller guy down. And I think it's going to, not be competitive in the championship rounds. That's the way I see it going down, man. But yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to pay another hefty price tag for this fight, even though us fans just paid $90 to see Canelo versus Munguia last Saturday night. So yeah, boxing getting a little expensive this month.
82 weeks before that. And
yes.
2 weeks before that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I want to say this about Jake Paul
guys,
before
I have the price, guys. I have the price. Oh yeah, go ahead, sir. We're getting ready to shut down. I just want to,
because I gotta put the kids to sleep here in about 5 minutes. But yeah, Jake Paul, I agree with what Adam said. He's a better promoter than he is fighter. That's for damn sure. I don't really have a problem with the guy. And look, I didn't even know where this guy came from. Like during the pandemic, like people were talking about Jake Paul. I had no idea how this guy even became whatever he is, an influencer, whatever the fuck that means these days. I had no idea again where he came from or anything like that. But the problem that I had that kind of made me annoyed with the guy was that dudes that I had done some work with here on YouTube that were, channels that were directed towards the diehard fans were using this guy's name because they saw that he had 1 million subscribers and all these followers on social media, and trying to act as if this guy was building his career as a real prize fighter when he's fighting guys that are like gamers, retired NBA players, retired MMA guys that had never been in a boxing ring a day in their life. And they were trying to pass it off as if this guy was building his way up to be a real fighter, blah, blah, blah. It was just a really sad thing to see. They were just trying to get this guy's subscribers to subscribe to their channel by kissing his ass. And that's why I got annoyed with the guy. But yeah, if he can come in and change some things here with boxing, make it healthier, then I'm all for it. But that's all I got to say for that, guys. I got to run, though. Thanks for having me, Joseph, Adam, you guys, and I'll be listening in for the rest of the show.
Right.
And guys, don't forget, MJ, don't forget, brother, you are putting your findings from USADA. You're putting that in article form a little bit later on tonight. Should be published tomorrow morning, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Indeed. We look forward to seeing that, brother. And I will publish the link on this show once it's published. Right. And so thank you, MJ, for all of your Columbo work, brother. God bless you, man, and have a great night.
All right, you guys take it easy.
That's great. It's a great one.
So
all right, guys.
And there it is. Adam. Now, one thing I would like you to examine before we actually bid everyone an excellent evening. most people aren't aware, on this May 18th card, a heavyweight bout that is more than likely going to be Jared Anderson's next opponent. Let's just face it, when Deontay Wilder loses to the Big Bang, right?
Yeah.
On August 3rd. So a lot of people aren't aware that this is happening. They're both 24-0.
Yeah.
And they're both, this is Ajit Kabayel versus Frank Sanchez on the undercard of Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. I love this matchup. Who do you like in this and why?
Jared Anderson. I mean, dang, that's a really good matchup. I want to say he didn't look good in his fight, though. I want to say Jared Anderson, but he didn't look so great.
I'm talking about the fight coming up on the Tyson Fury card.
Which one?
Ajit Kabayel versus Frank Sanchez.
Oh,
most people don't know that that's actually happening inside.
Carlos guy?
I'm sorry, who?
Is Frank Sanchez working with Reynoso?
He's back working with Eddie Reynoso. Yes.
Probably go with Frank Sanchez, man. Cuban. Good team. I mean, that team they brought out the best in Ryan, Oscar Valdez. I mean, they're working on something, dude. I like that matchup, and I think Frank Sanchez pulls it off.
Yeah, I would agree, but Caballero looked great in his last fight on in December of last year. He looked absolutely phenomenal. And he was the underdog going into that fight. But if Frank Sanchez does pull this off, do you see Jared Anderson actually taking this assignment? Top Rank signing off on this?
I mean, I feel like Jared Anderson probably would have to, because I mean he didn't look good his last fight, so you're kind of pressured into, I got to look good against this guy now. I got to look good against this guy.
Yeah, and well, before we leave, I want to get your thoughts on this. W.A.W, thank you for hanging with us, my friend. He says, I kind of think Deontay Wilder beats the Big Bang, Zhilei Zhang. Do you agree with that, Adam? And why? Or why not?
I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, the chin is unpredictable, but so is the power. The power that he has is also unpredictable. I kind of think so. Plus, I mean, who wants to see a Chinese heavyweight champion, dude? Who wants to see a Chinese?
Well,
this isn't Yao Ming. I don't want to see that. That looks weird to me.
I tell you what, it wouldn't look weird. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
Like, no, I want an American heavyweight that's gonna knock you out. Not some China guy. Some Chinaman.
Well,
I don't need
so you actually subscribe to the age-old adage that where the heavyweights go, so goes boxing in America.
Yes.
And there it is.
Deontay Wilder was, when he was undefeated, he had all those knockouts, 35-0, 34 knockouts. Dude, he was the man. Everybody everybody was talking about him. Then he loses again.
And it wasn't just that he lost, Adam. It was the entire Glovegate bullshit.
Yes. That
really added to, well, people jumping off the Bronze Bomber Express.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just be honest.
3-pound suit. That's why my legs were done. It's like, shut the fuck up. You got hit on the chin. That's why your legs were done.
Yeah, and then to top it all off, he fires shit cans your friend Mark Breland.
Yeah, yep. Like one of the best boxing coaches. Pure just jab, fundamentals, everything. Even that shows like just how Deontay Wilder didn't want to do anything. He really didn't learn the jab. He had the best, one of the best jabbers. Ronnie's probably the best guy to work on your jab with. Mark Breland be up there, at least number 2. And Deontay still couldn't get the jab. He always had the right hand. That's all he needed. But still, like, you got to set up the right hand. And he still didn't do that.
Yep.
Didn't Mark Breland come out with, like, yeah, this guy never listened. This guy would just
That's it.
he would just mess around in the gym all day. This guy was
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm, mm. Yeah, I'll tell you what, sad. And guys, let's just make no mistake about it. There's a reason why Malik Scott has him on his bicycle, using lateral movement, using the entire ring. In his last fight, let's just face it, he stunk out the joint and gave a very strange post-fight interview. He just didn't have the mentality of a prize fighter, it seems. Maybe he shouldn't have taken that ayahuasca like Aaron Rodgers, Chingao. But look, guys,
Dude.
I'll say this. There's only one reason why, if you have the kind of power that Deontay Wilder has, why would you adopt that kind of strategy in the ring? There's only one reason. Because your chin is now glass, thanks to those 2 horrific beatings at the hands of Tyson Fury. Would you agree with that theory, Adam?
yes. I mean, there's no reason to change your style if it's working. He didn't want to change it when he was knocking everybody out. Now he feels vulnerable. He knows my chin's completely gone, and all I have is this right hand. Let me try to last as long as I can, doing something completely different, and it doesn't work. That's not natural to him. And you know what? There's just a time to call it, like to hang it up. He should have hanged it up. As soon as you have like thoughts like that of I
You've
gotta
already
try.
lost before you step
You've
in the
already
ring. Yep.
yes. Like I've had thoughts of like in my last fight where I'm just like, why am I doing this again while I'm fighting? And that's like, dude, if I'm thinking that, you're done. Like, just don't. You shouldn't have been there in the first place if there's a reason why you're thinking it. When you're in the fight, you're just thinking you're just fighting. But I mean, if you have thoughts of trying to change shit up, you should just hang it up. You had a good career, and that's what he should do.
Yeah,
He made all the money in the
exactly.
world. He doesn't need like we're gonna be saying, dude, he's one of the greatest punchers of all time, and
Yep.
that's his legacy. That's fine. That's great. He made $100 million. Just go live your life, dude.
And there it is. True words were never spoken, guys. And we're at the end of the road, guys. We want to run close to a 60-minute show tonight. But I want to thank all of you guys for joining us. My apologies that we ran out of time, didn't really get to go through the roll call tonight. But God bless all of you guys. I want to thank you guys for joining us. And Adam, tell you what, man, great job, my man, for the first time being our color man. We really want to have you back. If you have time, let's try to make this a weekly thing, my brother.
Oh, dude, yeah. You know, my first time actually being one of the color commentators. I have a lot to work on. We'll probably discuss it.
Yeah.
We'll look at the tape. We'll look at the tape. Like, we could have spoke here. You could have shared there. I like this take. I don't like you said Chinaman. That's kind of fringe. Off the fence, get myself canceled. But I think you should have done this. I'm ready to hear the strategy.
Well, I tell you what, if you can, I know you're going to be at the event. You're planning on going to the event that I'm going to be doing lead commentary on, care of Alamo Media, at this Saturday at the social spot in San Antonio, Texas. And guys, I think we just heard my color commentator on the night. What do you say, Adam?
I'm down. I already got 4 tickets. I'm already going. I'm excited for it.
And there you go. I tell you what, it would be an honor to share the booth with you, my friend, once again. And I tell you what, guys, if you're in the San Antonio area, May 11th, this Saturday, it's going to be a stacked card. I'll be doing the ring announcing for the amateur show during the day, and I'll be switching booths, and I'll be going over to the commentary booth and doing a 5-hour marathon broadcast for the entire fight. We're going to feature every single bout on the fight card. And yeah, care of Alamo Media, I'll be shooting you guys, if you want to tune in, for free on care of Alamo Media. And I'll be shooting out the link to you guys. And so please join us this Saturday night after you see Lomachenko whoop that ass. How do you like that?
Watch that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You think George Kambosos is going to pull off the upset, brother?
Dude, that guy's That guy's a sparring partner. I got lucky. I cannot stand him. Yeah, I cannot stand Camposos, dude. Like that guy, he just got so lucky with Teofimo. That should have never happened.
And once again, guys, this is what happens when you get too big for your britches and you elect to listen to the people who don't have your best interests at heart or the knowledge or experience to guide your career in the right direction. Instead of listening to Bob Arum, Brad Goodman, and Bruce Trampler, 3 Hall of Fame badasses, he decides to listen from some idiot on Triller. Yeah. And so that's what happened, guys. He should have never had to postpone that fight and go through 7 or 8 different camps because they kept on moving the dates. And then they just duck out of the deal altogether. And then the fight ends up happening 9 months later on DAZN.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what you get. That's what you get when you don't listen to the gentleman at Top Rank Boxing, Top Rank Inc. But that's going to just about do it. Adam, tell you what, we'll be in touch, and I'll see you for sure at the weigh-in, hopefully. This Friday at Ojos Locos.
Gonna be there. Yep.
And there it is, guys. So on behalf of G Funky, on behalf of, well, the USBA Promoter of the Year, Dimitri Salita, and on behalf of Montequilla, Adam Lopez, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to Warwick Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Affordable Dentures proudly presents the Star of David, Dimitri